Alright, today we're going to be reviewing Singh's debut album OK from 1998. He won the Mercury Prize for the album in 99, which is basically the best album that came out in United Kingdom and Ireland. And it is truly an amazing album. It took him 9 months to record. He went to the Okinawa Islands and also to India to gather up singers, folk singers, and I think what makes this album tick, what makes it really well put together, is the placement of the songs, and also the beautiful flute playing, which is played by Ryuichi Sakamoto, and also Indian virtuoso Rakesh Sharasi. I hope I'm saying that right. Sharasi. Okay, so we're going to be reviewing the songs one by one. There's 11 songs on there. Traveler, Butterfly, Citrix, Bombastic, Decca, Eclipse, OK, Light, Disappoint, Mento B, Sony, and Vikram the Vampire. Alright, so let's get to it. Alright, so first song off of the album is Traveler. It's a 11-minute, 16-minute song, and mainly because of the 2-minute introduction and then the classical music at the very end of the song. It begins with saying the world is sound, and as this is repeated over many times, there's different instruments that are coming in, like a jazz instrument, and then a piano, and then and this is all enveloped with a huge atmospheric ambient background sound, and eventually you hear a guy singing and a woman singing, and the drum and bass beats don't start until like 2 minutes. Right at 2 minutes it starts, you hear some drum and bass. Then after 2 minutes, there's you can start hearing flute playing and a guy singing over the drum and bass, and a minute after, like into 3 minutes, there's he says, the world is sound, and what if you could leave all your troubles behind, and just listen to the music, essentially, right? Then after a little bit after 4 minutes, the drum and bass desists, it just goes away, and in comes in this beautiful flute playing, which is enveloped by this atmospheric ambient sound, and there's no singing, there's not a man singing, there's not a woman singing. It's only the flute and this atmospheric sound that is takes turns. The flute plays for a while, then the atmospheric music takes over, so the flute goes away, and then the flute comes back, and this kind of repeats itself until like the 6-minute mark of the song. So after 6 minutes, the flute keeps on playing, but in the beginning, the flute is very energetic, right? The flute playing is just a But between 7 minutes and 8 minutes, the flute player starts singing or starts playing very slowly, almost like hypnotic like, and it still has the atmospheric music, ambient music behind the flute playing, but that's all that's happening, the flute and the ambient sounds behind the flute. And from 7 minutes to 8 minutes, the flute gradually becomes slower and slower and more kind of very mystical, slow playing of the flute, which is actually very hypnotic. At the start, about 8 minutes in, classical music, Western classical music starts playing, and between 8 minutes and 9 minutes, there's kind of just this orchestral music, classical music that takes over. And from after that, from 9 minutes to 10 minutes, you can hear classical Indian music going in under the classical music, the Western classical music, and kind of fusing together, right? And by the time it hits 10 minutes, the classical music, Western classical music, kind of takes over again. So, and then the last minute and 16 seconds, it kind of, the Western classical music takes over, and then kind of slowly comes to an end. And so my feelings of the song are I initially thought that it was too long, but it is a good song. It kind of it gives you the idea of what this album's going to be like. It's going to fuse Western classical music and classical Indian music, which has been around for centuries. I know in my last album review, which I reviewed, I said eons, which is a billion years, which is a long time, but I guess it's better to say centuries, because humans haven't been around for billions of years. So anyways, but my intention was to say that the classical Indian music has been around from the beginning of time, right? So anyways, but The Traveler, this song is very nice. Like I said, I think it actually is a little bit too long. My favorite part of the song is where the flute takes over in the ambient, and the flute playing kind of almost become hypnotic like. And yeah, I mean, it's a good beginning to the album. It's 11 minutes and 17 seconds. Let's go on to the next song, which is Butterfly. Alright, so Butterfly, the second song off the album. Okay, so the first minute, it starts off with drum and bass beats immediately, and then halfway through the first minute, you can start hearing a flute playing, kind of upbeat flute playing, and by the end of the first minute, you can hear some classical Indian tabla playing. Alright, and after the first minute, you can start hearing this beautiful sitar playing, and it persists throughout the entire minute until almost 2 minutes. It stops playing, and then the flute takes over with very energetic, hyper flute playing, So after about 2 minutes, the sitar stops playing, and the flute starts playing, and tries to compete with the sitar in trying to make the most beautiful, virtuosic flute playing. And by the end of 2 minutes, you can hear some tabla playing. So at 3 minutes, the sitar comes in again, and it there's more tabla playing, and they're basically taking turns, one after another. And at the very end, they kind of, the tabla playing, the flute playing, the sitar playing, all at once, to the end of the song. And at the very end, the sitar, the sitar is gone, and it's just the tabla player and the flute ending off the song. It's a very concise, very compacted song where I really like the sitar playing on Butterfly. The flute playing is beautiful, as always, and the tabla playing is very energetic on Butterfly. It's very not. It's a beautiful song, and a beautiful title too. Butterfly kind of makes you think about a butterfly flying from flower to flower in the forest, and kind of, the butterfly is very energetic, and that's what I would take from this song, is that it's an energetic 4 minute virtuosic song where the tabla and the sitar and the flute are the stars of the song. All right, so I'm gonna move along a little bit faster because I know that we're at like 11 minutes, and I'm gonna rely on my notes here on the next songs. The next song after Butterfly is Sutrix. It's a woman singing, repeating herself. It has very heavy drum and bass, very aggressive tabla playing, almost like a rock song, but not a rock song, but that's what it is. Then next after Sutrix is Moombastic. It's a guy rapping at the beginning. There's a harp or sitar, relaxing, laid back break beat, and it almost sounds like reggae like. I actually like the song much more than Sutrix. Then after Moombastic is Decca, and it's just over 1 minute long. It's like a transitional song, something like Saint, you know. So it's a short Indian folklore, historical, mythical Indian folklore that is talked, kind of spoken, and then goes straight into the next song, which is Eclipse. And then, so on Eclipse, there's a group of men singing with, it sounds like a violin. One man is singing in a trance-like, almost, where in classical Indian music they go into this trance-like singing, repeating themselves, or going almost, kind of kind of like if you ever seen the movie The Music Room by Ray, Sajid Ray. Sorry, I'm probably saying his last name is Ray. He's a famous director from the 50s, and the movie is from 1958, The Music Box. You should see it. It's beautiful. The music is very beautiful in that movie. Okay, so next we got OK, which is the actual title of the album, and there's a group of women singing. It's a break beat, and they go like si ha, si ha, si ha. It's got a beautiful sitar, and I can see why Talvin named the album after this song because it's amazing. It's a beautiful. It's only around 4 minutes long, but it's truly up there. It's one of the best songs on the album. Right after OK, there's Light, um, which starts off with piano playing lightly with a tabla playing. I believe there's a flute playing also. This song Light is very jazzy. If you like jazz, it's very mellow, and for me, it kind of gets interesting at the 3 minute mark, because there's a kind of a big progressive beat that starts right after 3 minutes, and it's okay. The song is just fine, but if you like jazz music, then I think you'll appreciate this song a lot. The next song is an interesting title. It's called Disser, Disser, and then backslash point, then a point, and then mento B. So Disser backslash point mento B, and I have to say this song is almost almost as good as okay, if not better. It's a mesmerizing, fluid sound that goes through. It's only 2 minutes long, just over 2 minutes long, and I have to say that it's one of my favorite. It's also not a song that you really can dance to, but more of a like ambient um, immersion into this mesmerizing, uh, mesmerizing. Uh, I can't place what kind of instrument they're playing in this in Disappointmental B, but I have to say it's beautiful beyond compare. It's in my opinion, it's one of the best songs. Yet it's only 2.5 minutes long, I believe. It's one of the shorter songs on the album. Yet it's one of the best, um, in my opinion, of course. Um, so after Disappointmental B, there's a beautiful, great transition into the next song called Sony. Not Sony Sony, but Sony like Soni. So there's this Sony is another song that is just very very beautiful. I have to say it is amazing. It's got beautiful singing, maybe the best singing on the album. Sony Soni, and the instruments are just amazing, just like Disappointmental B. But Sony is actually a longer song, and at the end, there's some almost like talking blues, right? If you know what you know what talking blues is, um, where essentially it's a blues.
Sorry, could you say that again? Sorry, I couldn't hear what you said.
Oh my gosh, I'm not talking to you, Siri. Um, okay, so Sony. What's my point is that it's got talking blues at the end. It not that it has blues rhythm or blues guitar on the track, but just that uh, the the it's not there is singing at the beginning, but there's like talking, a guy just talking. Maybe it's Talvin himself explaining, giving this descriptive ballad of this woman, kind of like Bob Dylan, right? Bob Dylan makes makes talking blues and makes the best ballads, you know. But this is a ballad of a woman, maybe in India or who knows wherever she may be living. But that would be my guess. Um, and then the album finishes off with Vikram the Vampire, which is a very funny title for a song, and essentially it's my way of explaining Vikram the Vampire, the song. It's a slow approaching storm coming with break beats, drum and bass, and it's not necessarily once the storm gets, it hits hard, but it's just a passing storm that throughout the song. It's just a passing storm, and at the very end, I guess Talvin says, "The drums are done, Vampire Vikram." Anyways, it's kind of a silly, funny song. Um, it's nice, but I guess just the title is really silly, and I guess at the very end he.
Sorry, could you say that again? I'm having trouble hearing you.
Siri, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to them. All right, so the drums are done, Vampire Vikram, and the thing is that that he actually says that at the end of the song. He kind of he's aware that the song title is sounds silly, right? But the music is nice. So that's it. I mean, so next is, what are my thoughts? Is this album better than Ha, or is okay better than Ha? What do you think? Well, we'll see. Here I go. All right, so time for my brief comments, conclusion to this album, Okay, which came out in '98. It did win the best British and best British album and best British and Irish album of '98, and I agree. I mean, this album is just, it takes you on a journey, and not that Ha that came out in 2001 doesn't take you on a journey, but this one kind of has a lot going for it, as in there's beautiful singing. There's different types of styles that are played on this album. Some of the most beautiful songs that in my opinion, are Okay, which is the title of the album, and then also the transition and Disappointmento B, and the transition into Sony is I mean, that part of the album is just amazing. And I also like Mombastic. It kind of sounds like reggae like. I know it's not reggae, but I mean, I would, that's what came to me, there's a beautiful harp at the very beginning, or correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like a harp or a sitar maybe. Relaxing, laid back breakbeat guy rapping at the beginning. It's a really cool song, in my opinion. Sutrix is nice. It's got tabla playing, but my point is that this album, I initially thought that I actually like Ha, the 2001 album, more than Okay. But I've come to the conclusion that I actually like Okay much more than Ha. Not that I don't like Ha at all. I mean, I think both albums are very good, but when it comes down to it, this album, Okay, is is turns out to be just a little bit better than Ha. So, with that said, I would say I would give this album my rating out of 10, um, a 9.5 rating, 9.5. I believe I gave Ha actually something like 8 or something, but this is obviously much better. It takes you on a journey. Takes you on a journey too, but I think the transitions of the songs, the eclectic mix of songs, and that are really what makes this album first, first place, and in comes second place with okay with the 2001 album Ha. Anyways, I hope you like this review. Tell me what you think about my review. If you like my detailed reviews of the songs, especially the first song in Butterfly, if you like that type of review, or if you want me to give my notes on what I think about each song in a very concise and compacted way, which I went through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 songs, and much quicker than I did with the two first songs on off the album, which took 11 minutes long. Anyways, give me a like, and I would like to hear if you what you think about this album. Okay, put it in the comments and let me know, and I'll be reviewing a new artist, or maybe I might review another Talvin Singh album. So over and out. See you next time in my next review. Bye.